Hi, I'm Grinch. Welcome back. This is part 2 of a front fork seal replacement. I ride with the Tuckahoe Motorcycle Club out of North Carolina. It's my brother Taco. He rides with the same club. And first and foremost, one thing you do when you're working on bikes, you always defer to someone who is an expert in it. So I'm going to step back because I am by no means am qualified to walk you through this. But this man is. So without further ado, bro, take it over.
Alright, so in the previous video you saw where we took the front end apart, took the fender off and the brake caliper and the tire. So now we're down to the lower legs, the fork assemblies, okay? So what you want to do at first, when you first get started, these two pinch bolts, you want to hold these in place so that they hold the assembly on. You'll have something to hold on to for a little bit. You want to take a wrench and loosen the cap first because that's going to be a little tight, and once you pull it out of here, you won't be able to hold on to it without maybe doing some damage. This is the best way to hold it in place. So you loosen this first, and once you've done that, then we're going to go ahead and move down to the next section down. So while this is pinched and you've got it apart, there's nothing to hold. This axle is out. There's nothing to hold this from rotating. This rotates fairly easy. So you're going to end up using a screwdriver in one of these holes to hold it in place. First off, there's a bolt down here at the bottom that holds this assembly. You've got a spring, you've got a plunger inside of here, and it's held at the bottom. So the first thing we want to do is take this 6mm Allen wrench, metric Allen, and take it down here and pull that bolt off. Now when we do, the leg is still not going to be able to come out. There you go. So, real careful with these. The leg is still held in place because it has a seal and a snap ring. So then we have this dust cover here. So if you rotate it, you'll see there's a little notch there. That's the perfect place for you to grab a punch and a small hammer. In this place, we didn't have a small hammer. So we take this punch and put it in this little groove and tap this thing out the way. That's the dust cover. That comes up. There's another seal up here. This is not really a seal, pretty much a seal of sorts. This has to come up also. So you take a small screwdriver and put it in the crease there and start carefully easing it up. And that pops off. Okay? Now, if we can come in a little bit, inside here is a real thin wire snap ring. It's very easy to get to. You'll see a little curve, and you can take a little screwdriver in there and pop this up, and you can see how easy this comes up. Very easy. This is going to keep the seal in place. There's a groove inside here, and it keeps the seal in place. Once you've got this off, there's only one thing holding this assembly together, the top piece from the bottom piece, and that is the actual seal. So what we're going to do now is loosen the pinch bolts and pull the assembly down. Make sure you have a good hold on it because it's real greasy with the fork oil. It'll be harder to hold. Once you loosen the pinch bolts, you've got it here. Now, with the rag in place, there's a spring in here you have to release, and it's not under great tension, but it is a little bit. So you're going to grab a rag, grab the top of this nut, and loosen it, holding on to it, holding on to this side here, and loosening the nut. When you feel it come loose, it'll pop the spring off.
Ooh.
There you go. Okay, so this is the cap, the fork cap. Here's your fork spring. Again, all these components are going to be cleaned before we put them back in again. Now, like I said, now you can disassemble everything we've taken apart, taken loose. Take the cap, be careful with it. Take the dust cover, lay it down. Take your snap ring, don't lose that. And now you've got two components right here, and they're held together by that seal. What you have to do now is in sharp little blows, grab it, compress it, and then pull it apart. And there you go. You have two assemblies. Lower leg slider, the fork tube, and you have the plunger assembly here. Now this part here is what was holding on to the nut, the bolt on the bottom. This pops off, very careful, places down. This part here will come up, it's held in place by the spring, and this will come down the other way. You have another spring that goes on the bottom, and that's all there is to this assembly. And you're done. What you have to do now is clean all these parts very well, and our main objective here is going to be to replace this seal here. This is the seal that's leaking, this is the part that's failing right now, and this is our main objective to replace. Everything will slide out the top. You have a washer, and remember the order that these are kept in. You have the washer, and then you have the bearing. Okay, you'll take all of these out and put them back in order. You put them back together. Bearing goes first, then the washer, and then the seal, and then we have a special tool to put the seal back in, and we'll show you that on the next video. This is Taco, Grinch. Thanks for your attention, and hopefully if you're following along with us, you'll be able to put it together just like we have.